Yes, good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome to NFTV. Me and 40 are here with you this evening for an hour, now and a bit, to talk all things about Newcastle United. Of course, it's been a manic game last night, which we'll touch upon, and then we'll move on to stuff that are off the field that we want to get off our chest a little bit. I think these are all going to say similar stuff, so drop us a like. Get your comment in the live chat as well. You'll see them appear on a different screen and we'll go through. Super chats will always be read out as well. But yeah, so 40, how are you, first of all? Have you recovered from last night?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, yes. Last night was a roller coaster, but at the same time, I'm proud of the boys. Despite the circumstances, I think we put in a real shift, and yeah, that'll be one for the ages. Liverpool versus Newcastle is always one for the ages, isn't it?
Yeah, we're old enough to remember the 4-3s. The
Yeah.
two of them year after year, last minute goals from Collymore and Fowler, the 4-3s back in the day. But yeah, so we're going to start off with, you see the little QR code on my side of the screen. We are proudly sponsored by Saley. So what is Saley then? I want to tell you about before we crack on today's video. Saley is the new eSIM service app brought to you by the creators of NordVPN. Here you can choose from several affordable eSIM data plans in over 200 destinations. I've just set my ma up. She's in Gran Canaria at the minute. Keep messaging me that she's loving the holiday and I had to install her for her. It was dead easy for her, and she's using that currently in Gran Canaria, so she's loving life with 28 degrees temperatures, which is nice for her. So basically, if you're going abroad or you are planning on going abroad, especially with the Champions League draw happening on Thursday. All eyes on that, of course. Get yourselves an eSIM, and we recommend Saley. I've used them. Your mum's just got her involved as well. Affordable prices. You only need to download it once. Global and regional plans. You can save time, avoid scams, protect your privacy, save on your mobile data. Don't use your own mobile data abroad. Don't. 24-hour support, and if your SIM's not compatible, you can get a full refund as well. And of course, it's easy to download it. You download it onto your SIM manager, onto your mobile. You then make that your main SIM, and off you go. It's as simple as that. Buy a plan, install the SIM. You can also download the SIM, the app, the eSIM from Saley. So there's a link in the description and you can see it on the QR code. So please do have a look at that. We're very proud to have them on board with us here at Newcastle Fans TV. I'll be using them because obviously we've got the Champions League draw on Thursday. Just touch upon that. I've just seen Celtic get put out, by the way, by a team in Kazakhstan.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, now, hold on. We have no leg to stand on because I'm sure we got badly beaten by Celtic, so we can't really say much.
Yeah, I didn't want to drive to a Champions League game, put it that way. I didn't want to go to Glasgow, whether even if Rangers turn it around as well, they're up against it. But I definitely didn't want to do a 9-hour flight to It's nice to Kazakhstan. But
Mm.
yeah, we'll see on the Champions League draw. All eyes on that as well. We've got the live chat, of course. Great to see you all involved as well. Graham's saying he's sick of the Isa saga now, but hate the fact he will still be in the Prem if we sell him. And obviously, he's just took the Wolves West Ham game on at 80 minutes. As I noticed on the web, Larsen had just came on. He turned it around 2-1 down, 3-2 up. He's not bad. Yeah, West Ham are under serious pressure, I think.
They are in
Yeah,
danger.
I think Voldemort's going to come for Potter. Like I think that's written very soon. So do keep your commenting. Great to see you, Matt, one of our members, one of our writers as well. So we'll come back to your chat every so often. So we'll touch upon last night before we get on to all the off-field stuff. I mean, roller coaster of emotions, wasn't it, 40?
Yeah, it was, man. It was. Like I said earlier, though, in the chat, I'm just proud of what we overcame. And yes, Gordon was a prat for doing that. And I think the whole get into the mentality got to everyone's heads. And surprisingly and not surprisingly at the same time, it was Gordon. You probably would have thought it would have been Joe Linton. If anyone was going to get sent off, it was going to be Joe Linton. But he actually kept his head somewhat for once. But yeah, the red card killed us. The red card killed us. And I thought, to be honest, after the first one went in and then the second one went in straight after half time, I thought it was going to get absolutely slaughtered. But credit to us for coming back, getting back into the game. And then, look, we should have just kind of managed the game out. I mean, probably at that time, I was thinking, oh, we're gonna go for the third, and then. Got caught out cold, and then the young boys stuck it away. What can we say? But Yeah, I'm still proud of the boys nonetheless. It's one of those defeats where you don't feel too disheartened. You feel like,
Proud.
yeah, you feel proud and you think to yourself, if we did actually have 11 men, whether it be Isak or not, we might have actually got something from that game.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question because a couple of these coming out comments over the videos the last 24 hours is that would you? I know hindsight's a beautiful thing, but it's 2-2. Are you more happy just to park the bus and get a point, or go for it?
It's like you just said, like hindsight is a wonderful thing. At that moment in time, I remember saying, we've got to go for it. We were all over them. We was
Same,
dominating
that
them.
same. I'm in that mindset. Exactly the
Yeah,
same. Go
we
for it.
was
I'd rather risk having 3 points than 1 point.
Yeah, and credit to Howe as well because I've gotten on to him before about making the wrong substitutions and kind of bottling it. He went for the treble substitution. That treble substitution, fair play to him. Stuck
Extra leg.
Asula on, stuck Jacob Ramsey on. Really and truly, only need to stick one on because I think that was when Cher had his concussion injury, right? So you only realistically had to do one if he really needed to. But he went for it. Why not? And we got something out. Well, kind of got something out of it to that certain extent. And yeah, at that moment in time when it was 2-2, I was saying, let's go for it. Gung ho, entertainer style. Why not? And it kind of cost us to an extent. We was sloppy at the back, and then overall, like, yeah, we came away with nothing. But I still said that it's one of those losses that don't feel like a loss, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and we all worried in pre-season, weren't we? Because of the performances were just not at it nearly every game, and coming into the season, you're thinking, Christ, we haven't got a striker. But actually, if you look at the performances and against the teams that we are up against, Villa in Liverpool, yes, we should have really went on to win Aston Villa because they had 10 men for the last 25 minutes. But we performed really well. We were the better side against Villa. And then with 10 men, I even say it now, we were the better side against Liverpool. So I'm going to, again,
Even with 11
yeah,
before Gordon got sent off, even with 11, Gordon had the two chances, the header, and I think there was one that kind of just in front of him, could have tapped it home. There's those two chances that stuck out for me. Even with 11 men, we had the better opportunities. Then obviously Gordon got sent off. But even still, when we're down to 10, I still feel like it felt like an even playing field because as cliche as it sounds, we had the 12th man, we had the fans behind us. Bruno was relentless. Oh my god,
what a
he must have
performance.
covered every inch of grass or every blade of grass. Do you know what I mean? His performance was crazy. Tino, Livramento again. I saw Man City fans just tweeting saying, "Why don't we go for him in the summer?" I was like, "Nah, listen, leave Tino where he is. He's immense. He had a great game as well. Dan Burn, oh my god." What a player, man! I mean, he should be playing for England like more regularly. So again, like those are the three standouts for me. So again, proud as punch, man.
Yeah, Dan Burn and Bruno said that in scoring the players. And, as Sven Botman, you would have thought he might be in that side by now, but you might have to wait a bit longer because Dan Burn is playing with just absolutely unreal, isn't he?
Yeah,
And obviously, yeah, look, I would much. Is it more important because obviously Leeds with the weekend? Not forget about the performance, but just get the 3 points because we've got Arsenal after that.
yeah. I think both go hand in hand. I think we've had a loss, we've had a draw, or we had a draw and a loss. I think that the win's coming. So before you know, I think we just need to get the win. And also need to touch upon is like the injuries. The injuries are actually not as bad as we first thought because we had Joe Linton go off, we had Cher go off, we had Tonali go off. I think it's been reported by Joe Linton's missus that he's all right, so he could eventually. I just seen that earlier. I was like, Joe Linton's missus said he's all right.
A
So
nice rub on the leg, eh?
yeah. Gave him that special treatment afterwards. You know what I mean? So he's all right. I think Cher's okay. So it's just Tonali that we need to work on. So 2 out of 3 is not bad. If Tonali doesn't make it, then we've got Jacob. Jacob Ramsey as well. Oh my god, what performance he had coming off. Like imagine coming off the bench into such a hostile game, and he just took it in his stride. Like I'm not saying obviously this is his first game, but in the Premier League, but it's his first game for us. So to come into a game such like that, just took it in his strides. Again, a stand-up performance. We had so many standouts there, despite going down to 10 minutes. Crazy.
Yeah, even Malik Chow came off the bench and he must
Yeah,
have
yeah,
run
yeah.
hell because this would have been his first taste. But it's funny enough you mentioned the injuries. I did want to touch upon that, but here is Eddie Howe.
So many different emotions because really proud of the performance, really pleased with how we played, great energy, great intensity, really pleased with the the following of the game plan and then adapting, because we go to 10 men, and for me, we're the better team in the second half as well as the first. So to come away with nothing, and injuries and suspensions and concussions, it's a pretty bad day.
Where are we with all the injuries then that you've picked up tonight?
Yeah, Sandros doesn't look good. He was in quite a bit of pain. I don't know the full extent of him or Joelinton's injury, but they both look threatening for us in the sense that they could be out for a while. And then, of course, Ant's going to be suspended, which is a big blow for us. Just reflecting on that, I thought there was no intent. People say it looks bad. I've not seen it again. I've seen a really quick image of it. I thought he was trying to pull out of the tackle in the end.
Yeah, trying to pull out the tackle. What do you make of the red card?
Yeah, first I thought it was a yellow, and then obviously when it got slowed down, it obviously looks worse when it's slowed down, but when it got slowed down and you obviously saw the marks on the back of Virgil van Dijk's legs, it was a blatant red. I can't really, as much as I want to be biased, it was a red. I don't know why he's going in flying like that. Like I said, I think it's the heat of the moment. The game got to him.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, but again, he's just got to be careful of that sort of things, because again, I think someone read out his stats. It's like he's scored no goals in like 20 odd games, but he's got like 2 or 3 red cards in the last 20, something silly like that. Yeah. So if you're getting more red cards and goals in the last 20, regardless if you're a makeshift striker or not, that's alarming. Sorry, but it is, because naturally you're coming off the left, you're meant to be getting goals and assists, but you've got more red cards than you've got goals. So again, for me, that's a bit frightening. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, and obviously all them red cards come against Merseyside's teams. Well, 2 of them against Liverpool, Everton, and Brighton, wasn't it, the FA Cup? So,
I mean, yeah, we don't want him to be getting in down the routes of match fixing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's
accusations.
3 is too many, and obviously
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about the game. We're worried about the 2 Brazilians, but I know they picked up the custom yellow. But yeah, we'll have a look what Gordon said in his statement. Actually, he has your live chat. Free Isak. Here we go. We've got the online Liverpool fans have been doing my head in the last 24 hours. If you're a Liverpool fan, send us a photo of you inside the stadium to info@newcastlefanstv.com, and what we'll do, we'll post that on our video to show you that you've been inside the stadium.
Hold on. Can we give an honorary shout out to an absolute legend from Newcastle Fans TV? And you know, we both know him well, Johnny Greenwood.
Johnny's in the chat as well.
Johnny's in the chat. Johnny Greenwood, Mr. Casanova himself.
He's been lurking in a couple of live chats as well. Chip as is in there as well. Free Kanate, yeah. By the way, I do want to just quickly touch upon, because we are talking about them injuries. Keep your live chat coming. I want to applaud Alisson and Kanate. Alisson was picked up on Fabian Schär with the concussion. Simon Hooper hasn't got a Scooby-Doo 40. I mean, he's letting play on, and Fabian Schär is cut. Alisson's trying to wave the assistant down, but Kanate, you don't pick it up on Sky right in front. Kanate is waving, running over, screaming at the 4th official. He needs attention whilst Liverpool are on the attack. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. So fair play. I want to shout out those 2, because that was actually proper sportsmanship, to be fair.
Even with the red card, I think Virgil van Dijk was good with it, because he could have easily just milked it and made more of it. I feel like, you know, it was a foul, it was a red card, but I just feel like usually in this day and age, you'll get someone going down like they've been shot. So I just want to give him a little applause as well.
And even later, Alisson got a hold of Bruno. Obviously, they know each other well. Just took him away from the heat of the moment later on in the game. So again, credit to those 2. So yeah, good sportsmanship on that. Let's bring up the good old share screen facility, of course. So we've got Anthony Gordon's statement here, what he said last night. Obviously, I want to sincerely apologise to my teammates and my fans for the attentions were here. I was just trying to create an energy in the game, and I mistimed the tackle. I also want to apologise to Virgil. I would never intend to tackle somebody like this on purpose. We spoke after, and he knows that. More importantly, I'm so proud of the time I spent on the pitch and how we played tonight. The atmosphere from you all is what makes St James's Park so special. I love everything we stand for as a club, and no more than right now. I'll be back and better, the same as every other setback I've ever faced. I'll see you soon. Yeah, I mean, look, it's nice that he's come out, because he actually cares about the club, unlike some others, which will come on in a moment. Just with that as well, because I've kind of forgotten about it, 40. You mentioned a couple of the injuries there. Tonali's doesn't look great with the shoulder. That could be a few weeks out, couldn't it? And then Joe Linton with his. I'm going to go and say that none of them will feature this weekend against Leeds. And if it's concussion, regulations state that Fabian Schär will have to miss that game as well. I think it's 7 days minimum. So there'll be some changes made. Who comes in?
I think the changes are quite obvious with the squad that we've got. We've got a little bit of depth now, so Chow has to come in. You know, he's already gone. He's already been given the baptism of fire going into probably like one of the biggest games we'll play this season against Liverpool, so that's fine. So Chow has to come in. Jacob Ramsey for me is a no-brainer. You have to get Jacob Ramsey in for either Joe Linton or Tonali, and then you're pretty much left with Lewis Miley. So again, I think the changes are kind of, you know, bog standard. They make sense. Like, so I'm all right with that. And again, it's against Leeds. I'd rather make the changes now against Leeds, and then, like you said, give Schär another 7 days, or give Joe Linton some extra time. You know, because if we've got Arsenal the following one after that, I'd rather rest them against Leeds than Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Is it too soon for Willock? He obviously was on the bench. Did you expect him to come off the bench and get a few minutes against Leeds?
Yeah, minutes, yes, but I think Miley's ahead of him, mate. If I'm being totally honest, I think how it goes is the big three, they're not going anywhere, and then next in line is Jacob Ramsey to come on, make an impact. Then I think it's Lewis Miley if he doesn't go out on loan, and I think Willock has dropped down that far down. He is the bottom.
What would you say for the end of the season? He could be out.
I think he is. Yeah, I think if we get a sizable bid for him, I think we could even let him go before the window shuts. Honest to God, because yeah, I mean, look, come on. I think it's that classic case of, and I always say this to Newcastle fans as well: don't fall in love with your loan player. Don't do it. We've all done it, but don't do it. Listen, Loke Remy, Kennedy, Joe Willock. How many? Rondon to an extent, you know. Like, don't fall in love with the loan player, because that's what he's there for. He's there for loan. He's there on loan, sorry. So he's not there to be there permanently. Of course, he wants to be. That's the reason why he's going to play out of his skin for you. But once he gets that nice permanent deal, oh, how could I forget the other one? Matt Target. Listen, if I put out the receipts on this channel about Matt Target, yeah.
I wasn't the only one, because at that time, Target did play well.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It made sense. Alone. You're meant to play well. You're not meant to play shit and then not get a deal.
I mean, I'll change that now, of course.
Exactly.
He might be going out on loan, ironically, to Middlesbrough.
I know. 15 million and 100k a week later. Yeah, that's a great deal, isn't it? So don't fall in love with the loan player. Respect.
I think someone said, what do you call him? That Brazilian left back, Lodel from Forest at the same table. And we're like, no. But yeah, I get your point. Let's just go back to the live chat. We haven't forgotten about you. Drop us a like. Come on, we're live for you. Send you out of the K League. Willock has a liability with the injuries. He's now going to become the injury-prone player, isn't he? Because Wilson's gone. Selling Isak for cheap will make us look weak. 150 million on a no deal. Newcastle have to show strength here. This is a big moment for Newcastle's transition. We are going to come to Isak. Obviously, we're going to talk about off-the-field stuff in just a second. Give Murphy a start against Leeds. I could see that happening. I don't think Eddie Howe will want to do too many subs. But 40, does Asula start?
For me, yes. I mean, we have to now. Look, we've got not many options. Not like we've got Callum Wilson there. I think we might have just got rid of Callum Wilson too soon, by the way. But yeah, like, I think we might have to.
Because I said on the videos last night, if a striker comes off the bench and scores, and then we don't have a striker at the club, but he doesn't start the next game, is that sending a message?
Of course. Look, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt now. Like, he scored off the bench. We've got no striker. We sold one of them. The other one doesn't want to play for us, clearly. So, and the other one's got sent off. So we're running out of options. So I think Leeds is a good game for him. If he can bag against Liverpool, I'll put some bit of money, not a lot of money, to bag against Leeds. So I think that's his opportunity. Look, stop that rumours of him going to Germany. He's meant to be going towards Leverkusen or whatever. No, we need you now. We need you now. Now's the opportunity, lad. So grab it with both hands. So yeah, Asula starts for me against Leeds.
Yeah, and Leeds will give you chances, of course, and it's the Shaw Longstaff derby, of course. It's just written for him to bag one, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Right, let's have a little look. Of course.
Can I just see in the chat, I'm just seeing that Strand Larsen's just scored.
Yeah, 2-2 in the night in the Carabao Cup against West Ham, aren't they?
So
off the bench.
we got to talk about it. You know what I
We
mean?
will. We're going to come to that as well because we're getting onto it next. So obviously, I put this tweet out, and a few of the plastics were jumping on it. Of course, there were. We don't demand a team that wins. We demand a team that tries. And obviously, as Fordy's already said, and we've said on the videos the last 24 hours, that performance by those 10 players were absolutely sensational. Can't fault them at all. Ironically, look at this 40. 3 year ago today. 3 years ago today. Sorry, I can't even put my words in.
I mean, look at that face. We should have just seen it.
Delighted, didn't we?
The signs were there. Look at the face. He just like, I'm well happy to be here. Oh, I'm just signing my life away for 140 grand a week. Poor me.
Let's
Bloody hell.
talk about it then.
Go
Because
on.
Craig Hope said exclusive Newcastle corner, Jamie Reuben and the P.I.F delegation, one of the directors, have met with Alexander Isak at his home today, i.e. yesterday. Club want Isak to stay and be reintegrated into the squad. That could mean a new contract if the striker agrees. So that was yesterday, and Eddie Howe went on to say, of course he will say this, I'm not party to the talks that have been happening. I have no idea where that stands. I've been focused on the team. I'm not party to any discussions that happened today. He knows it's happened. He just doesn't know what's being said because he was at that time being interviewed by Sky. But news came out earlier today, that Isak's position has not changed despite Yasser and the P.I.F delegation, the director, Jamie Reuben, the director, have gone and had a word with him. He's not budging, is he?
He's not budging, but again, we're not budging either. We're not budging. So he can, I think, look, he needs to realise that we hold the cards. If he had 1 year to go or 2 years to go, then maybe he might have some sway. But we have the cards because he's got 3 years left. So if we want to be spiteful or, hold a stance like we're entitled to do because we're paying your wages, son, we can put you on the bench. We can put you in the reserves, especially during a World Cup year. Is that what you really want to do, Isak? So he needs to buck up his ideas, really and truly. If we get the money as well, this is what I want to say to all the Liverpool fans. All of this free Isak stuff is rubbish because we're not holding him hostage. If you really want him, stump up the cash. You're telling me 110 for a player that is one of the top goal scorers in not even just the league, but in Europe. And you want to spend 110 less than you spent for Florian Squirts, whatever his name is. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me started on him because he looks like a bag of shite right now. I'll be honest with you. So don't tell me you're going to spend less on Isak than you spent on Florian Squirts. It's not happening. So please, Liverpool fans, if you want a free Isak, stump up the money. Stump up the cash because you've been splashing money here, there and everywhere this summer. Frimpong, Squirts, Kirkes, all these players, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, you really, truly need to flip and work on your defence before anything because Konate, he was having a mare in the first half. He was having an absolute stinker. So I'll be looking at getting Ekatike as well. I'll be looking at getting another defender before you get in Isak. But if you really, really want him, 150 and he's yours. In fact, even 130, but with add-ons as well. But don't hit me with this 110 free Isak bollocks because it's rubbish. If you want him that badly, stump up the money because we're not going to sell Isak on the cheap. Why would we mug ourselves off? Do you know what I mean?
So they come in because obviously Arnie Slot was interviewed. I watched it back when I got in editing all of his last night. I put Sky back on and watched it back, and the question was fired at him about Alexander Isak. It kind of tongue-in-cheek and said he doesn't know much about it because they were saying there's another bid going to come in, more or less. And if Liverpool do come in and get that asking price, are we leaving ourselves vulnerable to not just get one striker in? We need two.
Look, this is what I would do for me. If they stump up the 130, put it on Strand Larsen, put it on Visser. Job done. Sorry, but that's it. If Brentford really wanted the 50 million or so, which is still very high, but again, it's no getting around it. They know we've got money. They know the situation that we're in. We have to go as close to 50 million as possible. 50 million down, for example, 60 million down for Strand Larsen, that's 110. We sell Isak for 130. We still keep 20 million. Job's good. We've got the two strikers, and that's it. We just move on. That's it. because we've exhausted all of our targets. They're either elsewhere or they don't want to come to us, and that's it. Either that, or I was even thinking about it tonight. Nicholas Jackson, mate. I'll go that far.
I think he's going to buy in, isn't he?
Either that, or I think he'd rather stay in the Prem and ideally get him on a loan. Remember, don't fall in love with the loan player, like I said earlier, though. But I'll get him on a loan or someone. It's got to be someone who can come in and hit the ground running, because we haven't got time now to be bedding players in and doing the Eddie Howe thing where we're getting them used to league. We've already got Asula for that. We've been doing that for long enough. We need to get players in, at least 2 strikers in. Look, he's got a graphic ready just there.
Good on.
He is good indeed. I didn't even know that, ladies and gentlemen. But again, we need to get someone in who can hit the ground running, like preferably 2, and then just go from there. Do you know what I mean? I know what Rico said, no to Jackson, but mate, listen to us. We've got no other options, mate. We've exhausted all of our options. We can go through them if you want, and they're not going to be budging because they've either just signed for someone or they said no to us. Ideally, I would have loved Goncalo Ramos. Is that how you pronounce his name? I would have rather him, but again, he's not going anywhere. Who's the other one? I actually thought we might go for Boniface, who was heading off to AC Milan, but then they had a look at his dodgy knee and said no thanks. So maybe that's a bullet dodged. But again, realistically, Wissa wants to play for us, which is always great because we've got a striker that doesn't want to play for us. So sign him up. And then Strand Larsen, like you just said in the chat, someone, he's already scored 2 in 2. So we want players that are in form. So those are the 2 for me. That makes sense. I like logic. So
Wolves, though, are in a similar position to us. If they sell Larsen, they've got no one else.
That's a shame for them. Do you think Liverpool give a shit about us? Sorry to keep swearing. Do you think Liverpool care about us, Lee? They don't. So they don't care. Sorloth, sorry, mate, I'm not too keen on that one. He didn't really hit the ground running last time he was in the Premier League, I believe. So
he struggled, didn't he? But since he left Palace, he's scored goals for fun, hasn't he?
Yeah, you can do when you're elsewhere, but I think
he's ahead of Larsen for Norway. So
he might be ahead of Larsen, but Larsen's banging him in the Premier League for a struggling Wolves. So if he can do that for a struggling Wolves, look at the service that we've been giving our makeshift strikers in these last 2 games. That Aston Villa game, for example, oh my God, he's putting into areas where if you had a big target man like a Strand Larsen or even a Callum Wilson, he would have put 1 or 2 of them away. So it would make sense to have a Strand Larsen in the team. Wissa, got a bit about him. He wants to play for us. He loves the heritage of the African French players that have played for us. So it makes a sense to get those 2 in. And again, we can get that for less than the 130 that we're allegedly going to get for Isak, innit? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Big up Simi Cuts. You like the Florian Squirts, yeah? Listen, he's a Florian Squirt. At the moment, all he's doing is squirting about, mate. He's not doing nothing. You know what I mean? 110 for hit. What they pay 120 for them, but they want us to sell our prize asset for 110. Who scores goals for fun? No chance. No chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are rich for a reason. They don't do stupid manoeuvres like sell your best asset for that. It's crazy.
I've just seen one about Evan Ferguson. He has moved out on loan. I think is it Roma?
He went to Roma. Yeah, he's banging them in for fun.
Yeah,
he's banging them in. I think he scored like 4 in pre-season or something silly like that. So, nah,
he's ripped us apart. He scored a hat-trick right in front of me. That absolutely, it was a Colossus performance, reminding me so much of Shearer that day. Red hot down Bournemouth. Look, Wirtz will come good. 40's just Mickey taken. Wirtz will come good.
He will. I'm just taking a pity. But
I know what you're like. You like to play good cop, bad cop. You do on camera. Do keep your comments coming in. As you can see, we have a couple of online Liverpool fans. That's what we'll call them. Keep it polite with the interaction, of course. So with that meeting, then obviously you can see the title underneath. The chairman is here to sort this mess out.
Yeah.
From what I gather, it wasn't the chairman Yassal Rumian who was actually at the meeting with Isak. It was Jamie Reuben and one of the directors from the P.I.F. But why isn't Yassal not there? And now he's flew in.
Yeah.
But he's the gaffer.
Listen, when you're the boss, you expect your delegates to handle the business. But again, sometimes the big boss needs to come in and do what the delegates can't do. Do you know what I mean? Because really and truly, you shouldn't have to get to this level. Really and truly, whoever should be around, Eddie Howe. I'm not saying Eddie Howe should handle it because he's got enough on his plate. But really and truly, that's what you have your sporting directors for, your director of football for, your head of recruitment for, and all the rest of it. But considering we haven't got any of those that are fit and able to do this. No disrespect to Darren Eales and the lack of.
We've got Eddie Howe's nephew helping out.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, we're getting all the family together. That's great, but at the same time, it's not a family business, mate. This is a football club that's been going for years upon years. That will be going even when we're gone. Do you know what I'm saying? We need to sort this out now. So all of this nepotism about getting family members in and all the rest of it.
Word.
I know, mate. Listen, I'm not quite clued up.
I don't even know what that means.
It's basically doing favours for favours in the family and all the rest of it. Look it up.
I've learned something new tonight.
Hey, there you go. But look, getting back to it anyway, look, we need to get the right people in. We can sort that out throughout the season because the window for head of recruitments and directors of footballs can be sorted out throughout the season. I'm talking about on the pitch. So if we need to sort out the striking situation, we've got what? How many days? These 6 or 7 days.
Monday's deadline day, the 1st of September, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? So we need to sort that sort of stuff out now. Yeah. Look.
What do you think's went on in that meeting then? If you were flying the
Isak.
Yeah, because we're talking about the chairman should be sorting that out. But what's been said, if the journals are right and saying today that his position's still the same, he's adamant. Because what happens though, and I know I asked you this last week, but we're so close to deadline day now that it goes past September the 1st. Newcastle might bring a striker, might not, whatever, but that's going to be a Callum Wilson replacement. Newcastle really can't go after another striker until they know what's happening with Isak, surely, right?
No. Listen. Regardless of what happens with Isak, we still need one striker at least.
That's what I mean too.
Yeah. But we still need one striker at least.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's say we get Visser for argument's sake. Yeah. We eventually get him because Brentford already replaced him, right? They've already replaced him. He scored on the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, this has training with Brentford again now.
That's good. So at least he's one up from Isak. He's not too much of a snake. If we're talking about snake levels, this is a little bit higher. It's a little bit higher than this in Isak.
He's got the new Nokia.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we can sign Visser. Isak situation. The ball's in his court, mate. He can do this whole. I'm not changing my mind, all the rest of it. Cool, mate, because you can still rot in the reserves and then you're going to not be match fit and not be playing. And then the next time you're going to get a move is January. So you could be missing out on playing for your beloved Liverpool. So the ball's still in our court. You can either... Look, here's the thing. You can either wait there and wait for us to sign players and then we still wait for Liverpool to actually stump up the cash because this is the thing. We've not had the second bid coming in yet. We've only had the first bid come in. So this is what Liverpool fans need to realise. All of this free Isak business and all the rest of it now. Free up the money. How about that? Don't free Isak, free up the money because you've got it stashed away somewhere. I don't know if you're keeping it for some other player, but free up the cash. Stop being tight. So this is what we need to say to Isak. Look, we will let you go. Regardless of what's happened in the past, what promises have been made, whatever, forget about it. You're dealing in the present day now. This is the situation. You've seen that we tried to replace you. We haven't replaced you successfully. That's on us. But at the same time, we're not going to leave ourselves short just because you throw a hissy fit. Because imagine 6 months down the line or 10 months down the line or however long, Tonali does the same or Bruno does the same or et cetera, et cetera. That's what we're not going to do. So
it is going to be interesting because I was listening to a couple of media stuff. Jamie Carragher, Thierry Henry, I was watching it back. Everyone was saying it for the best interest of everyone was to get rid of Isak. But Thierry Henry later in the show, because of the injuries that have happened, that he's going to have to be made to stay. And that's not the same positions. TalkSport have obviously some of their presenters and stuff are starting to change their tune as well. I reckon that he's going to stay now because it's getting so close and Newcastle cannot replace him.
One thing I like when on TalkSport, I like Simon Jordan's opinion. I've always liked it, but his opinion on the situation is very like on our side in terms of like we've got the asset, so basically we're not going to just sell him on the cheap. Why would we? Do you know what I mean? If we're the selling club, we need to make sure that we maximise this as much as possible. So what's the point?
Isak is bigger than Newcastle. No player is bigger than any football club. Even Alan Shearer says that, man. The legend. It makes you look stupid, man. It makes you look like a 14-year-old plastic from other end of the world who follows a club. You've chosen that brand to follow, and you're an online plan. Without the internet, you wouldn't know what Liverpool was, man.
I love how they're like negotiating. Like I saw one earlier, say 110, One saying now 118 with 12-minute add-ons. It's like, and we got the directors of football from Liverpool in the chat.
You know what it is, and I have, and I'm not gonna lie, I have bit the last couple of days. But honestly, I really like Liverpool as a city. I
No,
really
so
do.
do I.
And
I
I
always,
love it, but they're very similar in terms of like
exactly.
the Geordies. No offense, they hate the South. No offense, Foley.
Sorry.
That's just obviously because of government and political reasons.
Yeah.
You know, they come from a vibrant city where it's working class. They'll give you the last penny. They love the football. They're passionate about the football. They love the nightlife. There's just coal mining cities. It's just so many parallels with each city. And I honestly love going to Liverpool because I know people in Wavertree, Edge Lane, across the water in Birkenhead. But some of those online plastic fans do not represent that city or that club. And I know every club has them because obviously the more successful you are. Newcastle get it. If we start winning trophies, we'll start picking up them. But the way some of them are going on, man, it's just relentless. And it's like, get yourself through a game, man. Stop being a plastic, man. You can tell I'm on one. You can tell I'm
Stop
on
nibbling,
one.
mate. On other news, though, I see that Sunderland crashed out in the cup already. So,
I've seen that they were 1-0 doing Huddersfield. Ironically, Huddersfield play our under 21s in a couple of weeks I'm going to. So it'll be interesting to see if our under 21s can get a result there, which is funny. But yeah, do keep your comments coming in. We are going to talk about off the field stuff for the second part of the show. You can see your live chat as well. So drop us a like on the video and we'll read some of them out, of course, as well. Right then, let's talk about off the field, our favourite subject. You've kind of touched upon one or two already, 40. I've got a list here, and feel free if you've got any more, and feel free anyone watching live if you've got any more. That's off the field. That's a problem. We'll put the top two together. The CEO replacement, the sporting director replacement. Obviously, it's unfortunate and horrible with Darren Neal's situation, and hopefully he's recovering really well. Where or why is there not being a replacement so far? We're coming towards the end of August. Yes, Paul Mitchell, sporting director as well. He left at what was the end of June, was it?
something along those lines, yeah.
How and why have we not replaced any one of those?
Good question. I think obviously the people behind the scenes would know better than us, but I feel like that's where a lot of this stuff has stemmed from. The whole Isak story reportedly is that he was promised a bumper deal by Amanda Stavely. Then Paul Mitchell said no to that because you've just signed a deal. You want X amount a week already. And you know what? I'm actually going to side with Paul Mitchell on this one. Yes, I know. It's going to be a bit controversial.
Down well in the live chat now.
Nah, but listen, hear me out on this one. And I've seen a few people actually go the same way online as well. So I must be thinking the same way, along the same lines.
Them online fans.
Yeah. But listen, if we've just signed a striker to a new deal, already on 140k a week, who's like that's a top earner at our club, why are we then just going to give you more money based off really one hot season? Two, if you want to include the season before, but one real hot season. It makes no sense. So why would we do that? Because that's just going to then, you know how the rumour gets around, Bruno's going to want more because he's the captain, Tonali's going to want more because he's playing 6 months well, even though he didn't play the previous season before. Do you know what I mean? So then it's just going to start escalating and setting our wage bill to astronomical levels. So I kind of agree with him on that thing. And then the second part of what I agree with Paul Mitchell on, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but he kind of criticised slightly Eddie Howe's signings.
Not fit for purpose.
Yeah, not fit for purpose. And I think the reason why is because really and truly, we didn't have any sellable assets that didn't affect the first team. Like the only one is Lloyd Kelly. Do you know what I mean? That was a good bit of business. Got him in for free, signed him to Juventus for 15, 20 million, didn't affect the first team too much. Whereas you look at your Chelseas, you look at your Liverpools, you look at your Arsenals, for example, they can sell players to then not disrupt the first team, but getting money into the team. So again, like when we sell a player, it's got to be an Isak or it's got to be a Bruno. Do you know what I mean? It's going to affect us badly. So again, it's going to leave in this predicament where we should have signed players that can not affect the first team too much. I mean, the only player that you could really apart from that is probably Minter, who didn't really touch the first team, but we got money in. You know,
had to, didn't we? Him and Hansen.
Do you get what I'm saying with that? So again, that's where I kind of agree with him. Yeah. So that's where I agree with him.
Well, sorry, but that goes back to Mitchell then. saying no, he's not having a new contract. He's got 4 years left.
Mm.
But let's just say we did pump them wages up. That PSR we don't know. It could have been hit.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have had a points deduction, and
Yeah,
then we wouldn't have. Then the snowball effect is, if you look at now in hindsight, we wouldn't have qualified for the Champions League this season coming up. And obviously,
exactly.
you talked about transfers as well. Sean Longstaff only had 1 year left on his deal. You can spread that with it being pure profit over 5 year for a new player. Chris Wood, I think he was a good sell. And you're right about Lloyd Kelly, but there hasn't been many.
That's what I'm saying.
There isn't anybody who's an asset. And people have talked about last season, Harvey Barnes could be sold, Joe Willock to get a bit of money back in to the club, because you're not going to get much money for Matt Target, Fabian Schär, Dan Burn, Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, because they're all hitting the wrong ages now. So really, you haven't got too many. Even Jacob Murphy to some extent now, because Murphy's hitting
Yeah,
30 now.
because we're gonna have to go through all this again. You know, this whole Isak saga. We're gonna have to actually go through this again, whether we like it or not. Whether it be next season or the season after that, because this is obviously the other reason why we need a good amount for the Isak sale, because we're gonna either have to reinvest in one or two strikers with that Isak money, but also if we want to actually move forward, we're gonna have to sell a big asset, because who else after that? Lascelles, well, how much are we gonna get from him? You know, like Emil Kraft, how much we're going to get from him? Trippier, how much we're going to get from him? All of our players that are deemed sellable are in their late 30s or approaching their 30s. We haven't got sellable assets like the clubs that I've mentioned beforehand. So this is why I keep going back to the Paul Mitchell statement, if this is what he was talking about in terms of sellable assets. Bringing players in, yeah, they might be in and around the first team, but if we sell them, then they're not going to fit the first team too much. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, how this whole, because you think about going back to winning the League Cup and then qualifying for the Champions League. Everything was such on a high. What a summer we're looking forward to, and it's just off the field stuff. It's just literally fell apart. And obviously Yasser is here, which I want to leave that question to you last. Keep your live chat coming in, everyone. Drop us a like if you're watching. If you're just tuning in, there's been well over 300 of you continuously during this stream. So that'd be great if you can just smash that like for us as we move on to the next one. So we've talked about the replacements. Obviously, that needs sorted out. The star forward wants out. We've already touched upon Isak with that at the moment. The next one struggles to bring a striker in.
I mean, that kind of ties into the first two, right? If we
It
haven't
is,
got,
because then you're relying on Nixon and Eddie Howe's nephew to help run the show. And obviously, Steve Nixon does have a good track record. He has dealt with transfers in the past, but do you need a team of experts to run that?
we do. We need a team that can cast the net far and wide. I feel like we're very just English based with this knowledge of us. Like we're only looking at, let's say if we put it into Football Manager terms, we're only just looking at England. We're not expanding it to Europe or rest of the world in terms of our knowledge, because we really and truly should be thinking, okay, no one in England wants to come to us, but there's a striker in, I don't know, the Dutch league or La Liga is banging in 30 or 40 goals a season. Do you know what I mean? And we've not cottoned on to him yet. Do you know what I mean? We need to be getting, really and truly, we should be in the market of the not just made it yet. Like we
South
can't.
Americans. That's a market on tap. Like,
Not even just that. I'm just talking about, for example, look at Liverpool. They can go for top talent. We're not in that bracket yet. We need to be going for the up and comers. Do you know what I mean? So Isak wasn't the Isak that we signed, that we've got today. We signed him when he's scoring 6 a season. Do you know what I mean? We need to be looking those places. Really and truly, at the moment now, like you said, we've got Nixon and Howe's nephew. We're just looking in the Prem and that's it. We looked for Jackson. Look what we linked to. Jackson, Strand Larsen, Visser, the Fulham forward, what's his name?
Yes.
Munoz. Like, we're not looking far enough, but I suppose now we're down to 6 days left.
Question for you.
Have we got that in the locker?
I've mentioned this. I'm going to throw it out there because no doubt you'll probably be linked in the next 6 days. Ivan Toney on loan.
I've said that a while ago. I would go for it.
You'll score your goals in the Premier League.
Yeah. And it would make sense. Maybe we could do our own
Chelsea Strasbourg deal.
We could do our own Berry Eze sort of transfer. Like the boys come home. He left us when Rafa binned him out, and now he's come back home.
When we were doing videos, remember back in the day?
Yeah. He's come back £50 million richer. Do you know what I mean? From all that Saudi money. But yeah, get him on loan. Like we need someone to at least get us to that next window, if not to the end of the season. So I'm sure he would.
That at this stage of that would be my pick now.
Yeah.
I think I went through all the strikers during the summer. I think now we're hitting towards deadline day. We've got 5-6 days left. Realistically, people might say Ollie Watkins, to try and tempt him away from Villa. But for me, I would get Ivan Toney if you can on loan, and then see what happens at the end of the season. For me, I think he's ready. It's a World Cup year. You want to get in that England squad. Yes, and I'll play second fiddle to Harry Kane, but I think everyone will. But that next option after Kane, he done well in the last tournament as well. Just for me, it
makes sense. No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. Whether we've tried it out already and the wages are not matching up, but I think at this stage now we need to kind of break through that ceiling of what we're willing to spend. Because look, if Isak turned around and said, "Look, guys, I've changed my mind. I'll stay for another season. Give me 200k a week," we're gonna pay that. We're gonna pay 200k. So why can't we pay that for someone like Ivan Toney, who's been smashing it up in the Saudi league, albeit? So why not do it?
Yeah, go for that. Ironically, what about the loan market? Yeah, I can't get Tony on loan. He has to be playing in Saudi for 2 years, apparently. Yes, but if he's on loan, he's still technically employed by the Saudi club, so you can get around that.
Yeah.
Magnil says, if our PSR isn't affected by backroom staff, why aren't we throwing money at getting the best? I think off the field stuff isn't affected by PSR. Players' wages are, transfers are. That's the main thing. You can reinvest in the stadium, rename the naming rights and training ground, women's football. All that doesn't affect your coming in. Love listening to Lane 40 kicking about. Cheers, lads. Cheers, Jay. We go way back, main 40, many year back.
Okay, yeah.
Banter aside, I think it's in Browse and P.I.F look to be begging Isak. No player should be bigger than the club. And the whole small club. Spain, Kush, I'm expecting to say one trophy in 70 years next. I'm expecting to say Oil Club. I'm expecting you never been to a Liverpool game in your life. I've been to more Liverpool games than what you have in your lifetime. That's embarrassing, coming from allegedly a fan. Anyways, you can tell I'm on the biting trail. I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Are you hungry, mate?
I can't stand plastics. I get why you follow a team that wins trophies because it's bragging right. I just can't get it. Why would you pick a team that wins all the time and you have no connection to it? If you're gonna be someone from abroad, pick a team that doesn't win stuff. I.e., pick us. We've got one trophy. Pick a Fulham. Pick a Bournemouth. Palace are doing well at the moment. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't fathom. I can't. It winds it up. It really, really does. Anyways, we'll get off that topic.
Yeah.
Again, this comes down to more problems. Under 21s don't technically have a manager at the moment. At the current stage, Robbie Stockdale, I don't know if you remember him, 40 back in the day.
Middlesbrough, right? Right back.
Yeah, he was playing with Janino, Ravanelli, and Emerson were playing back in the mid-90s. He broke through, and he was appointed assistant in April, and he's now taken over in a temporary role. But again, it falls down to why have we not seen that announced that he's either got the job or where is the under-21 manager? It's been a couple of months. And that kind of falls in line with the women's team also changing their stadium. So for people who may not know, a few season ticket holders had already bought their ticket. I say a few, there's more than a few. A couple hundred had already bought their tickets, and the club decided to change the stadium without informing them. Right, we're not playing at Kingston Park anymore. We're going to Gateshead, which caused a massive uproar. And I know that's small things, but if you keep adding these small things together, they start adding up. So under 21s don't have a manager yet. Women's team have changed the stadium. Again, for it comes back to who's communicating?
Mate, can I just say, just to sum all this up, it's all gone tits up since Maddie left. It has.
I agree. I think...
Let's be honest. It's all gone tits up since she left. She had that TLC, that tender love and care about the club, going to games, interacting in the club. We've not had that since she's left. Whoever's come in and trying to fill the role has failed. I'm sorry, but they have. Like, it's just down to the recruitment, down to, like you said, the under-21s manager, down to the communication, down to filling certain roles behind the club where I feel like we're running on a shoestring. It feels like a very non-league sort of club where the managers having to do a bit of everything. Whereas we're Newcastle United, who's just come off the back of a trophy win last season, who's going into the Champions League season. We should have people in place for everything. And it feels like we're just we're just trying to get it together, just trying to see out this window, but we haven't got the staff in order to do so.
It feels distant.
No, I'll be honest, it feels very tin pot. It feels very tin pot, and I didn't want to say that about my club, but at this moment in time, when you're reading out the list of vacancies and people that we need for issues, both on and off the field, it feels very tin pot. And it feels like, yeah, we're struggling. How can we be struggling to get people into this club? Like, this is big Newcastle United. We should have a director of football, sporting director, whatever you want to call the title. We should have an under-21s manager who should be looking to blood in youth players into the first team. And look at last night. The person who scored the winner should be in school still. He's probably gone into school the next day after scoring a winner at St. James's Park. That's what we should be having. We should be having youth players coming through the team. When's the next time we're going to see a Lewis Miley coming through to the first team? I don't know. We've always had this struggle. We've talked about this situation before countless amount of times about getting youth players through the youth team into the first team. If we've not got an under-21s managed to do that, when is the next time we're going to do this? Do you know what I mean? We can't just keep buying and buying and buying and buying. This is what I was saying, going back to the Paul Mitchell point, is that we need sellable assets, whether they're youth team players that we can then sell on and get a fee at the end of it. I mean, look at Man City. They've done it with James Trafford. Do you know what I mean? Sold him off to Burnley, brought him back and the rest of it now. And I think they still made a profit. Like, whereas we can't do that.
They've done it with Jadon Sancho, Cole Palmer.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Flowing Lejeune at Man City. Which a lot of people,
and again, I don't even sometimes... I feel like we're not even thinking smart sometimes. I look at the Chelsea situation, the saga over the summer where they sold hotels back to themselves, they've sold women's teams to themselves, or whatever, however it goes.
And now, just sorry to interrupt your flow, they've just got rid of, they've just signed C.E.O. from, and then they've sent them to Strasbourg, and then they're going to get
Blue Co FC or Blue Co, something like that. Like, why? But I commend it in one sense because I think to yourself, well done for getting around the whole issue of PSR or CSR, whatever you want to call it. And why are we not doing the same? Haven't we got anyone clued up in the building to be like, okay, why don't we sell our women's team to ourselves, or why don't we sell flipping the stack to someone else, or do you know what I mean, or whatever, however it goes, you know, why can't we work around these issues in order to get money into this club? Because if all the other clubs are managing to do this, Man City have got about 120 million charges but still haven't been charged for any of them yet. Why are we left playing the whole, let's do the things the legit way and let's wait until, no, why don't we just move a bit ruthless? Because this is where we get trodden on. This is where we get left to the back of the line. I feel like we just need to move a bit more ruthless now.
A couple of things on the women's side as well. It's really important that the lasses get into WSL and get Champions League football because that brings money back in to the whole club in general, which helps PSR. But also talked about appointments there. Grace Williams has just been announced as the director of football, more or less, at the club for the women's side. It took 2 months to officially announce that. So that took a long 2 months. So yeah, there's just a catalogue. Price has gone up. Now, with inflation, yada, 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 that's not a huge surprise. But obviously, you got to remember that Newcastle isn't London. Wages are smaller. It's a working class city. Prices of tickets.
Sorry, with that one, though, I've got to say with that one, that was bound to happen. We can't expect...
Yeah, it's not a surprise. I'm just bringing it up because it is, again, a small thing.
Yeah, no, I hear it. But at the same time, we can't expect to have all of these nice things and then not have to pay for them. You know,
True. But I'm going to give you the example of a family of four, and that's what 4 or 5% each. That's a lot of money for some people. That's like
I hear it. But again, remember during the Ashley era, I remember us two going back and forth, and all these other content creators, Newcastle content creators, going back and forth about, we want a team that tries, and we would love an owner to come in and do this. And when it was linked with all these other potential owners, we've got the owners in now. They splashed their cash. But again, they're going to want stuff back in return. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. Like, I'm surprised that we've not had to rebrand the stadium, I'll be honest. I'm surprised that we've not had to rebrand the stadium yet, or the training ground, or stuff like that, because these guys that are spending money, they want something in return. They don't just want good memories. They want to be seeing their business acquisitions coming off. And they're not going to wait around for just a Carabao Cup and that's it. They want the big one. They want the Premier League. They want the Champions League. They want naming rights. They want it all. And these are the ways to do it. because if you're running a successful business, you're not just doing it just to lose money all the time. You want to be doing it to make money. So I kind of get that one. As much as I sympathise with the family of four having to pay 20 or 30 quid more, this is the price of success. I'm
What's
sorry.
£50 off per person for a family of four?
You sound like Jet 2.
Save your money, go on holiday.
Yeah.
Touch upon the training ground. I don't think we'll get one. Not short term. I'll rephrase that, because the club have put in plans to upgrade again the current facility already. And great that the P.I.F have invested in the women's side, because the women's team are actually getting their own facility with 3 pitches upgraded as well. So they have a different complex differently, but it is on that. It is on the graphic. It is the stadium thing. Why have we not heard? We should have heard by now. Either we're getting St. James's Park expanded in the next 3-5 year, or we're getting a brand new stadium. Why is there a delay?
There's a delay because we've probably got other things to worry about. I'll be honest with you. We probably, again, this is going back to staffing. This is going back to, we can't drag, the person that's probably trying to recruit for on the field, off the field, pillar to post, to do all these little bits and pieces, I'll be honest. So, and these things take time. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we're trying to worry about what's happening on the field first, because that's always going to take priority. All of those things you had on your list, whether it be, CEO replacement, sporting director replacement, all the rest of it, all the changes to like the women's team and stuff like that, that has to be dealt with as a secondary matter. The first thing first is dealing with the stuff that's on the pitch, which affects the stuff off the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that ties in hand with the prices going up, the tickets, the merch. You know how many kits that we have this season? It's crazy. I can't even keep up, man.
The Adidas. I mean, it's not just Newcastle United. It's every club. You can't say it's just us now. It's like every single month there's a brand new training kit or a celebration or a.
But we need to look. They're trying to think of, let's say, ways to. Well, let's make money. Yeah, we need to make money. But again, I think we need to think more creatively in terms of how to make money back, as opposed to just saying, let's bring out another kit. That might get us an extra 100k in or whatever. Like, I think we need to think more creatively, whether it be, I don't know. In fact, I'm not going to do their job for them. They're the ones getting paid millions of pounds to do that. But I think we need to think outside of the box rather than just bringing out kits all the time, because that's just going to wear thin after a while. Especially when the novelty kind of wears off, especially like the third kit no one really buys, because it's usually the green one, which represents Saudi. The home one, yes, and then there's the second one, people kind of and ah about it. So you need something that people are going to buy into and they don't mind spending, and they're going to get something out of it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Right, we're coming towards the end. Drop us a like, everyone. We've been an embarrassment, and next summer, Bruno, Tonali, Gordon will all want to leave. Oh, well, that's more negative than us.
I mean, I did say that. I said, look, I think I said midway through that we might have to get used to this, because this is going to happen eventually again.
I just want to praise some of the staff that, when I was abroad, some of the actually event staff are absolutely phenomenal. I have to praise them, because they communicated with us. About 200 fans came over from the UK, all the locals who live in Singapore and South Korea, all the events, the staff inside the club, who were not the top hierarchy. The events, they were absolutely fantastic, and they do brilliant stuff, and allowing the likes of Trippier and Cher and Tonali and mingle with fans and stuff like that, and Alanga and what have you over in Singapore. That was brilliant. So they do have some fantastic staff. What we're aiming at is the hierarchy. As Fordy said, is I think with Stavely no longer here. I think that mouthpiece, but she wasn't just a mouthpiece. You could literally see it that she cared. And
I think Jay in Atlanta, sorry to go back to the conversation, but I think he hit the nail on the head in terms of she set quite the standard in terms of how it should be. And now we're seeing the other side of things, where it just feels like it's gone back to be not quite Mike Ashley-ish, but it's getting close to that in terms of just being a straight business. And
what would you like to see then? Would you like to see, like, every so often Jamie Reuben speak? Because we don't really hear too much from Jamie Reuben, do we?
We need to. We need that communication. We need if it be a monthly update. I don't know if they do them AGM meetings like they did before. Maybe something along those lines. Even just a tweet, because everyone seems to be tweeting nowadays or putting statements out. Gordon puts one out last night. Isak puts plenty of them out. So maybe even something like that where, these are the things that need to be addressed. Even at the end of the window, I don't know if they plan to do something at the end of the window once we know where we stand in terms of strikers, but something just to kind of let us know what's going on with our club. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been supporters for long before they were here, and probably long after they've disappeared or whatever. So just let us know what's going on with our club. Just be frank with us, be honest with us. If you're struggling to find a striker, just let us know.
I think for me, I would like to say, because I know there's the fan advisory board, but I'm not a huge advocate of that. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it really. I know that you have to have that now. I just don't think we get enough from it. To be honest with you, I would like to see them on video talk about it, because then it's just relating like once a month. You just said that once a month, or you know. And being allowed to ask those difficult questions, like
Yeah, and be blunt with us. Be blunt with us. Don't just
sugarcoat it.
sugarcoat it and be like, oh, we're trying. Look, just say, look, we tried all these people. We really wanted these players. They didn't come, and this is the situation we're in. We spoke to
It goes a long way, doesn't it? It's just
this is what
Steve used to do that. Stavely would say that, and not just that. What I loved most about Amanda Stavely, and it's a memory that points out, was when the Lasses won the championship and got promoted. She was a little schoolgirl. She was running around giggling. She was crying and everything. It was like, that's our owner with the women's team.
Yeah.
With our women's team, imagine what she can do with the men's team.
Yeah.
It was, and it was just like, wow. She was crying. She was giddy. She was one of the girls more effectively. And when I think it was me and Johnny in the press, and we done St. James's Park, we heard her screaming, running past us, giggling, running, screaming, because they made the final at St. James's, the semi-final. She ran on the pitch. Doesn't matter that she's like this big CEO and whatever. She's like a little fangirl, and I absolutely love that. And I'm not asking our owners, of course. I'm not expecting Yasa to run on the pitch because he'll pull his hamstring or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you want Jamie Reuben to knee slide or something like that, didn't you? When
well, you remember when they had the kickabout at St. James's Park at half time, the little challenge with him and Miadad, and that was great. It was daft stuff. But going back to then the overall question, obviously the writing down there, chairman is here to sort this mess out. Why is Yasser Al-Rumayyan here?
He's here.
Why the game?
Say again, sorry?
Why here? Why is he at the Liverpool game? Why is he here now?
Why is he here now? Because he's seeing his investment go a bit tits up. Like, he should be enjoying this period of time where we're going into the Champions League season, and it's embarrassing him. Imagine, like, it's probably embarrassing for him and his people back home saying, oh, see that club that you invested in over there in England, what's all this player going on strike and all the rest of it? And that's what I'm saying. This is when the big boss has to come in and sort this stuff out. He's gone round to his house. He's had a cup of tea. He's had a couple of biscuits and the rest of it. Said, oh, I'm not leaving. Okay, cool. You're not leaving. Well, we're not selling you. So this is why the big bosses has to come in and hopefully sort this mess out. Will he sort this mess out? He will once Isak knows his place and knows that he can leave, but for the right money. And once you've signed one or two strikers, preferably two. So this is why the chairman comes in, because sometimes you have to get the big boys in. It can't be left to the minions, unfortunately. Howe and his dozens of cousins. Do you know what I mean? And Tyndall, of course.
He's here to kick ass. I think he has to. Obviously, last time he was here was not the Forest game, but last time he seen Newcastle before the other night was the League Cup final, ironically, against Liverpool. But obviously, he had to see the game in. Obviously, he's had his delegate go to Isak and speak to him. The whole carry-on of CEOs, sporting directors, and getting a striker through. And yes, I know he has the final say on everything, but we might not know what happens now in the next 24 hours, or whether he's had meetings today. I'm sure he has. Do you expect action?
Yeah. I expect the action of, look, we go to Liverpool and say, this is what we want. If you really want him, stump the money up. We'll accept 130, rise into 150, and that's it. If you really want him. And I think, you know what? I think as well, we'll call Liverpool's bluff. And all the Liverpool fans are in the chat, talking about free Isak. Let's call their bluff. How much do you really want him? Because we're not accepting 110. So 130, he's yours. That's your problem now. You deal with him if you really want him. Meanwhile, we need to get our 2 strikers in and continue on with the rest of the season because I'm happy with the rest of the window. We signed who we needed to sign. We'll sort out the backroom staff afterwards. First things first, we need to handle this situation. Call Liverpool's bluff. You want him, 130, find that in 6 days' time or however long, and then he's yours. That's it. That's it.
Is that the main priority? Isak first before all them lists there. Is that Isak is the priority?
Get him as far away from the club as possible because you've seen what we can do with 11 men that want to play for this club. You've seen what we can do with 10 men, what we can do against the champions of England. So I'm not worried. If we don't even sign a striker, I'm not worried because, look, if that's my team that can do that with 11 men, 10 men against 2 good teams, then I'm not worried. We're not going to get relegated anytime soon. We held our own against the champions of England up until like the dying minutes of the game with 10 men for the majority of the game. So again, if you really want Isak, Liverpool fans and Liverpool, get your little GoFundMe together. Stump up 130 if you really want to. Who is it? Jaden or Jay or whatever your name is in the chat. Get your little GoFundMe page together. 130, he's yours. I might even drive him down there for you. And that's it. And then we can do what we need to do and we can continue on. We're called Newcastle United for a reason. We're not called Isak FC. I keep saying this. We don't need to. I know we talk about reintegrating. I don't want him reintegrated. There's no point because he's only going to be here for another 9 months. We only prolonging the inevitable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a matter of when, isn't it?
Exactly. He doesn't want to be here, really and truly.
He's not going to be here for 3 years.
He's not going to be here for 3 years. He's barely wants to be here for 3 days. So let's just get him out. So it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that we get the right amount of cash for him and get a sell-on clause as well because he won't be at Liverpool for too much longer. He's not going to see out his final days at Liverpool. Just get him out of the club, get 130 minimum, and then reinvest it back into the playing squad and let's just move on. And that's it. And then when it comes to playing him at Anfield, we'll get Joe Linton to smash him. And that's it. You know what I mean? Joe Linton will smash him. Gordon will score the winner because he owes us one now. And that's it. Cool. Job's done.
Do keep your live chat. We are going to start a wrap up. So we'll go with your theory then, because obviously I like to play a devil's advocate with you. Mm-hmm. Liverpool come in, whether it's tomorrow, whatever, next couple of days. Do we then make them wait until we have 2 strikers in and then release?
Ideally, yes, but time's ticking, mate. Time's ticking, my friend. So I don't think if we left it to 130 to the final day, we're playing very, very.
So I'll rephrase that. And so we accept Liverpool's bid. Say, right, we'll do a pre-contract.
Yeah.
That's come deadline day. That's the deadline, ironically. But give us 5-6 days, and then we'll sign the dotted line. We have to get 2 strikers in. Do you make them wait until that happens?
I still think it's very tricky. I know what you're trying to do here in terms of like making them wait, being on the safe side. Great, but worst case scenario, if they don't stop up with the cash, or we make them wait and then they change their mind on the last day, we're still left with a player that doesn't want to play for us. He doesn't want to be reintegrated. He said no to Eddie. He said no to the big boss. So again, he doesn't want to be reintegrated anyway. So he might as well get the going rate for him, 130, which is a fair price considering what I've just mentioned before about all the other players that have gone for less or around about that. But I think we've got players waiting to sign for us. We at least got one waiting to sign for us, which is Wissa. So if we just got Wissa in for Isak, I'll be happy with that. I'll be honest to God. Obviously, I want 2 strikers, don't get me wrong. If we get Strand Larsen, if we get Jackson in on loan, great. But I'll take Wissa and get rid of Isak and then just move on with our life. Listen, we've had bigger players leave the club and I've just been probably as devastated, if not more devastated.
It'll be a lift, ironically.
Yeah, it's just a bad... Cloud. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that negative cloud around the club, and it shouldn't be. Like I said, going into this season, our second Champions League season in the past, 3 years, or 3 seasons, whatever, we should be up for this. We should be looking forward to our away days in whether it be Kazakhstan or wherever you want to say.
No.
Do
I
you know
don't
what I'm
want to do
saying?
that
But we should be
one.
looking forward to this one.
I'll
Do
be
you know what I mean?
like, hello, welcome to the stadium and take
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But we should be looking forward to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Rather than having this whole Isak, I'm sick and tired of going on or looking on Sky Sports or Talk Sport and then seeing them talk about Isak. This just getting gone, but I just don't want to see us get mugged off financially. We deserve to get the 130. We deserve to flip the money that we spent on him, and that's it. We can move on. Vista comes this way. Wolves fans, Strand Larsen's coming to us whether you like it or not, and then we move on. We might even still have a bit of change left over. Who knows?
Right then. So,
Okay, he's getting devil's advocate again, part
I
two.
am, because you've just said mugged off financially. Are we going to have to pay over the odds to get these players in? Are we going to be mugged off then?
Most probably. This is the reason why Brentford have moved the goalpost from, it will take 35 to 60 because they want to meet somewhere in the middle with 45. I don't mind losing 45. It's not my 45, but at the same time, we'll have to pay a 40 or 45 million for someone. We're not going to get strikers in for the 30 odd millions that we signed midfielders for. I'm sorry, the striker market is harsh. This is why I keep going back to the Isak situation. He's not a player that we can just let go for bottom barrel money. Like 110 for a player of that magnitude is not worth 110. He's worth more. He should be worth 150, really and truly. He is worth 150. Because, like I said, if you go to the midfielders that have been sold for 100 millions, Caicedo's, Declan Rice's, Florian Squirts, all the rest of it, they've been gone for 120, 130, whatever. So you're telling me a striker, which is the prime position, the prime player on the pitch that you rely on to win you games, he's going for the same amount of money that a holding midfielder or centre midfielder is going for. It doesn't make no sense to me. It's not logical. So 130 is a fair fee and what's it called? Fees afterwards, whatever the word is. Lost my train of thought. Add-ons, that's it, sorry. So again, that makes sense to me. And then get this in. He wants to play for us. He's already told us already. He's done the whole Isak, blueprint to a certain extent. So he wants to play for us. Sign him. Get Strand Larsen or Jackson in line, and then we're good. We're good.
I think we will pay over the odds.
We are good.
I think we are going to get a bit ripped, but I think every single person knows that we're in the market for a striker.
Listen, people know sorry to cut you, but people know that we've got money. They know that we've got money previous to this. But when we get a truckload of 130 million in, they already know that we've got money. So again, they're going to rip us off. But you know what? It is what it is. We put it down to experience.
Desperate.
We move on.
Right, a couple of fun stuff before we wrap up then. League Cup draw tomorrow, third round. Who would you like? Home tie, away tie?
I would like, what is it, third round, isn't it? No, it wouldn't be third. Is it third round?
Third round, we've got to buy because we're in Europe.
Okay.
The second round's tonight and tomorrow.
Okay, third round, I would like an away tie, just purely for me, because I would like to actually attend a game this season for an affordable fee, because now, like you said, the tickets are crazy.
Home for me. Home tie.
Of course you're going to say home. You go to enough home games already. You don't
enough away games, so yeah, I'll say home.
I want an away game closer. Let's move it down south, somewhere like
somewhere like a
Luton or something like that.
Tari.
Come on,
no thanks.
Come on.
Big one Thursday, Champions League draw.
Oh God.
Who would you like to go away to? I'll tell you mine, but while you're thinking, I would love to do the Bernabeu away. I've never done it. I don't want Real Madrid. Look, not that I don't want Real Madrid at home. I want Real Madrid away. I want that ticked.
Oh,
I'd love.
You're going from mainly a ground hopping point of view. I'm going for can we get through this next stage point of view.
Bernabeu away. I would love to do somewhere there I'll never go. No, like a Bodo Glimp or funny enough Kazakhstan. I laugh about it, but somewhere that I've never been. I've never ever go really. So like an obscure one. And so Real Madrid away, maybe one of the obscure ones, or maybe just somewhere that's quite easy to get a 2-hour flight to a Germany or Italy, because we are going to play some big boys because we're going to be in the bottom pot. But is anyone who'd like to say St. James's?
Anyone would like to say St. James's? Oh, I would love to see. Barcelona would be good. Just to recreate that moment of I saw that memory lives in my head as a kid seeing Asprilla scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
So maybe that in itself. Who else is there? I feel like we've got a bit of a rivalry going on with AC Milan, or is that just maybe just transfers? Like
Yeah, we're just signing all their players now,
yeah,
don't
we
we?
nicked Tonali off them, we nicked Chow off them, maybe them. And then PSG, the battle of the rich.
Long as that's at home, I'm not that big fan of their away ground. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not a fan. But Bayern Munich have never done the Allianz. I don't know if they still call
Ooh.
that.
Yeah,
Juventus Stadium, never done that either. I know it's smaller, but there's a few. We're all looking forward to Thursday because obviously it's the Champions League draw.
yeah.
Newcastle, remember, have 8 games in the Champions League, 4 at home, 4 away. Top 8 automatically qualify. Next 16 go into a playoff round to join the other 8, making it the last 16.
Yeah.
The Champions League, a very exciting couple of days for Newcastle. That's the positives to look forward to. But of course, the whole situation with Isak, off the field stuff, Yasser here. Hopefully, shit gets done basically. So please do. And of course, if you are traveling, you've got that QR code. If you're going on holiday, where is it? Here it is. To scan that, link is in the description to get your eSIM from Saley, a fantastic product that I've got my mask sorted on. And I'll be using them when find out what happens in the Champions League. So 40, are you having a Toon video uploaded anytime soon?
I'm sticking to shorts at the moment. So again, if you're on Instagram, which I'm sure you are, or TikTok, you'll find me as Ford Have Mercy for guys that have followed Newcastle Fans TV over the years and see my face on there. So I tend to do more shorts content for now. Until
How's your Roots getting on?
it's going well. Going well.
Yeah, I mean, as in Roots TV.
No, not my looks. No, no, Reese are going well. Of course, just editing away as always. Working on leagues in London and stuff like that, and working with brands. It's good. It's good. You know.
Want to explain what it is? For everyone that's watching.
Yeah. So it's just local level football basically. So cover a lot of grassroots football, non-league football, baller league. For those who know about the new product down here, which is doing crazy numbers with all these influencers. So yeah, just kind of focus on the not so glamorous side of football, not this Premier League malarkey stuff. Don't have to worry about any Isaks in grassroots football. Don't worry, people. So yeah, give us a follow if you haven't already. Roots TV, that's Roots with a Z, so ROOTZ_TV.
Yeah, and he's had a few viral clips, put it that way. So make sure you check him out across YouTube and the socials. Right, then we will wrap up. What are we? Nearly 1 minute, 1 hour and 20. Sorry, I can't even speak now. Falling asleep. That's why I've had this energy drink. But yeah, thank you very much for 40 coming on. As I say, League Cup draw. We've got the Champions League draw, so we've got a few lives. Deadline day next week. I've got 3 away trips this weekend. Friday, I'm watching the 21s just outside Birmingham. Saturday, back up to Leeds to watch them versus the men. And then Sunday, I'm down Bristol to see the women play. So busy boy, 3 away days in a row. My car will be doing some miles. But yeah, 40, as ever. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
It's been a pleasure, mate, as always. And Liverpool fans, don't worry, you'll get your ease out soon. Don't you worry. Just find the money from somewhere, please. Just stump it up. You know, give us the cash.
Yeah, and if you're dropping a like right now, please do. That'll be lovely. All of your interaction in the live chat. And of course, I'll reply to you all in the comments after the video's been processed. So do drop your comments in down below, and we'll see you very soon on NFTV.